Hello, this is Greg McIntyre. This is another episode of Unleashed. Immortality. How close are we? Longevity, immortality. Since the dawn of man has been striving for health, wellness, to live longer, to be like the gods. How close are we to being able to live forever or live indefinitely? I would argue the technology is here right now, some of it in pieces. Let's talk about how that might be achieved. In Silicon Valley, there's a term that was coined called escape velocity. Escape velocity is just one more day. Essentially, if technology, medical technology, nanotech, other technology is advancing at a rapid pace, all we have to do is stay alive one more day, just one additional day. And how is that possible? So I'm going to go over 3 areas that deal with longevity, dealing with extended life, far extended life. And the last one I think is the most plausible. So I'm going to go over the first one, which is medical. Medical technology continues to improve, genetic research. So smart drugs, by smart drugs, I mean drugs that are genetically engineered, may have a live virus, would be able to seek out and attack any cancer cells, any rogue cells that didn't belong in your body, and eliminate those using your body's own defense mechanisms. Those are on the rise, and those are going to be prevalent during our lifetime. So the pharmaceutical industry will be bringing those out. There's already forms of those, and they will continue to be tested. I mean, imagine taking a pill that makes cancer go away. That will happen, and I think the pharmaceutical industry has a good shot at cornering that market. Being able to reproduce organs, but not organs that are someone else's organs that you transplant and you have a rejection rate, but growing an organ from your own stem cells within your body, perhaps even being able to activate the stem cells within an organ to repair and regrow itself. That would ultimately be a non-invasive, non-surgical way to accomplish that. And we are working on that right now. So being able to replace our cells, replace our organs. I want to say we replace all the cells in our body like every 7 years anyway. So we're essentially Theseus's ship that replaces itself all the time. But we also age through a degradation of DNA. They talk about telomeres and the shortening of telomeres, and over time in genetics or in genetic makeup. So I think probably getting at the root of aging, the genetic root cause of aging, and seeing what we can do to deal with, reverse, or manage that, or at least put it on pause, is coming as well. And there's breakthroughs all the time in that area. So medicine certainly has, and genetic research especially, has a shot at vast life extension through those types of treatment. I just, again, came from the gym. I work out all the time. I was with my wife. I'm going to go eat. We work hard to try to extend our lives. What about mechanical nanotechnology? I think that has a really good shot at also life extension. So nanotechnology, essentially microscopic engineered machines that would be in your body, in your bloodstream, designed specifically to work maybe independently, maybe along with your body's existing defense mechanisms and systems, to keep arteries clean, to eliminate cancerous cells, clear waste, not allow waste accumulation within our cells. That's the beauty, advanced and expeditious healing, right? Fast healing and regeneration. Those are things that nanotechnology can bring to the table. And there's already been a ton of research, breakthroughs in nanotechnology. Don't know how far we are from bringing that out as a commercially viable, usable product within our bloodstreams, but imagine the benefits from that if they can fine-tune it over time, and it will be fine-tuned over time to make that happen. Perhaps nanotechnology combined with pharmaceuticals and smart drugs and genetically engineered viruses, for example, can all work together to help us be healthier and extend life. Now, I think computer technology and the advancements in AI, computer programming, are going to bring about rapid changes. I think a lot of those are already here. Neuralink. So Neuralink is a Musk company that is where, I might have a microchip implanted on my brain that extends into my brain, that reads my brain signals and allows me to control things with my thoughts. That exists now today. You'll see videos of where they're using it on paralysis victims or patients, where they're able to control things with their brain, even if they're quadriplegics. I think it's meant to also maybe bridge a break in the spinal cord to be able to activate motor control muscles, which essentially are activated, contract based on electrical impulses. So, that's the way that it's being touted and gone after right now. But where it will end up, in my opinion, is much more than that. Imagine I'm able to connect to Wi-Fi. Maybe my cell phone is in the chip in my head. I'm able to connect with the internet, all databases ever made of everything written of all mankind over time, video, audio, all of human knowledge is accessible to me right here in the blink of an eye. That is coming. I would argue that's already here with Neuralink. I will be the first in line to get one of those if it becomes available to the everyday person. How much would that be worth? How much would that increase my human experience? We already live in, by the way, if you're like, why would you get a chip in your head? We're already in a post-humanist world. The cell phone you use every day is not you. It is an advanced tool that you integrate with and you mesh with to be able to communicate with the world, store memories, just function and interact. And we as humans are so pliable that it's so easy for us to pick up additional tools and technology and incorporate it into literally what makes us work. It is a natural thing for us. It's how we're made. It's why you feel like when you get in a car and you drive it, you are part of that car and you can feel the movement of that car. It becomes an extension of you. That's how we're made. Don't know why that is, but it's amazing and it boggles my mind. Maybe I'll figure that out when I'm connected to the internet and I have access to all of human knowledge forever. Instantaneous communication, speedy communication at the speed of light, not just for me, but let's say between others that have a Neuralink. So you're talking about unspoken communication that happens almost instantaneously between individuals. So I don't have to tap on my keyboard. If you read Musk's biography, that is one of the reasons that he wanted to do that, is because he was so irritated that he could only type on his keyboard on his phone at a very slow pace. And why couldn't interaction between human beings work much more quickly? And it can. And I would say we're designed to do that and think at the speed of light and thought in our head. There's no reason we can't do that amongst each other, and that is coming. Will that create some sort of hive mind or the potential for a group hive mind, something like that? Probably. And that will probably be something that you can voluntarily sign up for. Imagine playing the video game in your head. Call of Duty, Fortnite, whatever. It's all here. That's Neuralink. Now, to do that, Neuralink, the company, had to work out the issues of communicating with a biological brain, a human brain, and interpreting the electronic signals, which are electronic in your brain, into reading those, right, and making those function with more hard circuitry like a circuit board or a microchip. And they've done that quite successfully so far. There's been scientists, researchers working on this for decades now, both in humans and animals in testing. So an evolution in where you can take a Neuralink is what I think is the most plausible and easiest way to get to a form of extreme life extension or consciousness extension or immortality. And I think there's a lot of people who probably see and know this already, and that might be the driving force behind some of it. I don't know. But certainly very altruistic lead with helping paralyzed people, which is absolutely a great cause. But when you think about what this chip can do, especially if it's networked, let's say I can interpret my memories. Not me, but the Neuralink chip. And we can convert those digitally to pictures, experiences, store those on a computer, on a server in the cloud, let's say, a server farm. And I want to preserve those and keep those there, back them up every day, so that if I lose a memory, I suffer from an ailment of aging, I might have that supplement my memory as I age, so I have near perfect recall for the rest of my days, regardless of what age I am. As long as my processing unit in my brain is okay, I don't think my brain will care as I integrate with that technology, because I'm pliable and I can do that as a human, will care whether I'm pulling those memories off a cloud or I'm pulling them out of my biological memory banks in my head. So there's the ability to back up and store memories. I imagine that would also mean there's the ability to modify or change memories. And then you get into, okay, if I can store the memories, can I upload the memories to someone else? What about my clone? Cloning is done. You see cloning in Asia, in Singapore, and other places where American and other companies do the research for these things because they can't do it under the rules and laws and ethical rules of America and other Western countries. So they'll go somewhere else to do this. So I would argue now you could clone a human being, that would be a routine thing that can be done with the technology of cloning and how far it's come over the years. Not splicing in genes, which you could do also, but just cloning in general. So let's say my brain functions somewhat like a computer. The computer, in my opinion, modeled after the human brain. You have a processor. There's different processing speeds for different computers. You have memory. You have sensors or input. So you have sensory organs for a computer that's input. It's a keyboard. It's a hard drive. It's a USB connection. It's the way it interacts. It's a Wi-Fi connection. So as long as you can interpret and map the brain from the processing style, speed, to the memories, and you store that digitally, then you could place that digital map of my brain and overlay that or upload that download that, more like it, into my clone. And then the question is, which one is me? Or are there multiple me's? Hey, what about not cloning? Let's say you simply wanted to control or experience the world through a synthetic body. Let's say a robot, like one of the Tesla bots or something. If you have a Neuralink, you should be able to control the Tesla bot. Perhaps you can see what it's seeing, hear what it's hearing. Plug into that through your chip, your Neuralink, and you're controlling a bot out there somewhere else doing something. Maybe you're hanging out at home or in bed. And you're experiencing the world through that interface, through that robotic interface. That is coming. Absolutely coming. And I would argue it's probably already here through Neuralink and the Tesla bots and other bots. Could you control multiple bots at one time? Potentially. That would require either having a digital version of yourself mapped to the cloud that is sentient and is able to control a bot, or maybe you just divide the processing code or copy that within the same kind of shell of that personality, those memories, those things. And then you have maybe you can buy those. Those would be add-ons that Neuralink offers, where you add on different processing units that are you, that allow you to not multitask, but truly focus on multiple things at one time. All these things are coming. Will there be upgrades to the hardware and software and the chip in your head one of these days? Yes. How does this lead to immortality? Well, I think you see that you could either live on in another version of yourself that would think it was you, or maybe I just want to be in the cloud and experience a world that's a video game, that's designed to mimic reality. Maybe it's indistinguishable from reality, and I don't know it. But my consciousness is going to live on indefinitely and digitally there. I hope this doesn't freak any of you out much, but also, should we be freaked out? Should we be ethically concerned? Absolutely. However, is it a brave new world? And are there a world of possibilities? And is immortality, in some sense, reality today? I would argue, yes, it is, with existing technology, which is going to be commercially available around the corner. This has been Unleashed. I talk about topics that are relevant and that I want to talk about or I'm interested in, and connect dots that I want to connect. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm Greg McIntyre. We'll see you again next week with a new episode of Unleashed.